Most welcome to the Horse of Evolution. Hope you people are doing well. So today let's talk a bit about the evolution of education and everything that is crumbling in the outside world. It needed to crumble when it comes to education. It's all about the fire, the flames we have seen in Australia, we've seen in California, we've seen all over the earth plane actually, and that is the fire that needs to meet the bad vibes in economics and politics, essentially because they are retracting our consciousness to the lower degrees of humanism. And so in the end, there is nothing left when we see what is being done to our kids. So really, we're masking the kids, testing the kids in school, social distancing in school, that has a very large impact on their brain and creates a lot of distortions in their little lives, and that is essentially something we really need to do something about right now, and creating that 1 year to a 10-year plan going on, creating forest schools and homeschooling from it takes a lot of efforts. And I do understand there's a lot of parents who are bouncing against the wall, against a fence, bouncing back and forth all of the time, not seeing the solutions, and I have great compassion with that as well. So community building remains very, very important. Building with all the ages, building with grandparents fit enough to see education through, building, yes, with children and educating them the new philosophy of life, the new psychology of life, educating sacred mathematics, sacred geometry, in which they come into terms with understanding mathematics. I understand perfectly well kids are doing bad grades when it comes to mathematics, to algebra actually, because it's not been educated in a proper way. I would get bad grades as well because I don't understand a thing in the old model. So creating new model is going to bring through a lot of solutions. I see a lot of people coming into action and homeschooling their children, many already for decades, seeing how the old system was crumbling. So it's really about putting heads together, putting out seminars for parents, how to do a bit, yeah, let's say after school, after work, homeschooling to their kids, in which they can rejoice into their living light, their living life patterns, and what it means for kids and teenagers to grow up in a society that is crumbling. So, and that needs a lot of psychological support, mental support. Above that, a lot of intelligence, knowledge in how to do that, of course. So over here, I also see, for example, the model of like 10 parents educating just 1 day a week and overlooking the school patterns or the homeschooling. And if we have maybe 5 parents a week with one parent 1 day of that week, and homeschooling like 10 kids, that would already bring great solutions through, because kids and teenagers would have the option to get to know other kids uh, that do not wear a mask, and that have been educated in the health department of their lifestyles, which is very important as well when it comes to health, when it comes to the food industry, consumerism, and how parents can configure new meals, and how we need to absolutely merge with nature, and how the organism of the earth plane, termed lighter these times, is offering us vitamins and minerals when we start regrowing the soil to its original content, essentially. And so when we bring that respect and that humility back to teenagers, kids, grandparents, people of all ages, then solutions come true not only for the homeschooling but global economics. And schooling is an economical system actually, regarding what you need to pay per kid for a year in school is dazzling. So yes, we can create new homeschooling with new teachers open enough to bring to new educational systems in which each entity, each kid can feel so much at ease and grace, and opening their passion into the higher educational systems regarding music, regarding the arts, regarding nature, regarding the philosophy of geography merged with geometry, in which mathematics start to make sense, because when kids can open up to their own geometrical mathematical pattern, they will start to understand how mathematics function. We are all a light component essentially, and so we actually rewrite our brain into authenticity through light configurations. And so the mathematics in the back of our brain, we calculate all of the time. So the more you subtract old consciousness, old model, old ways of living, the more the brain can recalculate new ideas, new lighted Atlantean seeds can grow from that and rebuild. So that is actually a 10-year plan that will override any interference of governments, and that is where we need to go to. So growing into new schooling and setting that up. I see a lot of people also in the United States working on that, which is great actually, but we need to do our part as well. So my part into this is actually bringing out what is termed eternal light education, and the authenticity, the origin of light body. So I see also a lot of people are never meant to open up into their light essence of self, because they're just looking to outward acknowledgement of their light. Well, there's nothing to see but ego. Alright, so be careful about that. We all need to learn, to relearn, and that is a never-ending, eternal spiral into the divine. So the first levels into the ascension vibes or shoes comes with at least setting a light vehicle that moves with all the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 teams of light that has grounded on the planet already, for those who have eyes to see and to connect and move at least into their celestial spiritual bodies. And so you feel the vibration of the earth at all times, like a whirlwind of light moving through you and moving the old crumbling cellular construction into light part, light flames, light waves, in which you can connect to all the stardoms and open the spark of self into the communication of spark to spark. And that is what we essentially need to do to move forward, right? Otherwise, there is no intelligence, there is no knowledge. Knowledge, intelligence, wisdom comes through light configuration because it carries consciousness. And what carries consciousness can be re-infused to the brain, so that brings through a complete overhaul of the old hormonal system. That is all there is to it. It's the hormones that stream on ego consciousness that needs to crumble. And once we do that, which can only be done in a spiritual celestial body and moving into universal essences and body, then you will automatically feel and be driven into what is meant for you to play your part on the planet as we are unifying. So the division of the cells are moving faster and faster and faster, showing you they want to move into light force, because if you don't, you cannot possibly move into ascension. So it's the greatest missing link to moving forward. And so we can all channel our own information at some point, but when it comes from soul consciousness, then information gets distorted all of the time practically. Sometimes there's little flashes that are quite correct, but many times there is so much distortion, then we don't need, we really need to make a new comfort zone into new technology, new technology for food, for education, for health, for everything. And when we work together, like in community building and involving all ages, every age actually, because people do know how important it is to keep up with fitness levels and anything termed healthy foods, such as through a vegan diet and fasting, has its benefits in moving faster into ascension, because nobody is going to move in ascension on animal food industries. So that is practically, that's pure logic. Once you understand that the old soul or ego consciousness has no logic, then maybe you may want to develop some passion into moving into spirit consciousness and getting your own information down, getting to educate so many levels in society that is so beautiful. So think about getting or holding your kids from schools, getting them into your home and finding solutions through community building. Communication is very, very, very important, and bringing through new ideas, new seeds to grow. And so for those willing to move into their eternal vibrations, I have this 15 weeks online. I have in which you can open up and teach yourself how you can heal any ailments. It's a certified class in which you can heal groups of people. You can teach children, you can teach adolescents, you can teach the elderly, you can create and recreate new programs. There's no end to what you can do with it. So it's only up to those willing to move into the eternal vibrations. I'm wearing the eternal ankh, that is the eternal portal into eternity, and how that moves with the phoenix rising from the ashes, which we should all do right now. So, and then the greater plan, or the divine plan, will fuse with us. It is grounding anyways, and so it's a matter of moving and flowing with that great plan. So for those willing to move a lot more faster, I have the individual sessions with me. They can go just on 1 hour or 2 hour sessions when it comes to healing the heart and the lungs, because if you can breathe many miles in circumference, then you can take information many miles in circumference. And also for those just willing to initiate self into a light environment, opening up the creator self into their spiritual body is great, or just a general session is just to give you direction to heal out what needs to be healed out in that particular timeline when being with me. And that is already very informative as I give directions to the point I feel where you can go to, what your options are, your directions, minus what needs to leave the arena of your life right now. And so you can start off a clean slate. And on the other hand, for those who want to do that themselves, can work with my book, Instant Manifestation, the old ancient style, in which you get direction and meditational alignments to manifest and to recreate your life from point zero. And so there's a whole layout that you can follow up and enjoy and copy and recreate, and there's no end what you can do with it. It's very potent, and it works with a pentagram and also a pentagram of pleasure, to which you manifest quite easily. So that's very, very much fun to do. And on the other hand, I have then my I Am faculty book. I created the I Am presence, the I Am phrases that override consciousness. And so you can pick a card a day, and that is fun to do as well. So let's pull out a card and see what comes out of it for the incoming week, which is essentially going to be very, very powerful for those aligned. Like, you have the option for many, many new ideas to come to the forefront. So I pulled out I Am Light Connections, the Universal Network. How appropriate is that, right? Light connections, you see all the links, the Universal Network. It is card 31. So look it up into my book, The I Am Faculty. And each faculty actually, or every card, is connected to one element. So that one is connected to the element water. It has 3 I Am phrases with it. I am facilitating the natural phenomenon of interconnectivity. So repeating that 30 times a day, that creates something very, very magical. I'm one with the spirits in the oceans. As spirit in the oceans, especially the dolphins and the whales, have great intelligence to direct you to something new as well. So that is great to do. I'm one with the Universal Network, of course. So the power of water cannot be underestimated, for it has the power to connect and interlink self with so many power plants to the earth, and to understand personal growth and self-realization on a higher level, a higher degrees actually. Clearing the water in the body is one of the most important and powerful transitions one can make to fuse with the rivers, the intelligence in the lakes and the oceans, because the information they contain to rise with new Atlantis and the halls of light being grounded on the earth plane right now. So being one with the oceans can reveal a lot of information needed during these high-level transitory times we are experiencing. So with this card, however, it's important to reflect on your own creative links underwater and ancient technology and wisdom that may be revealed to you to assist your individual journey as well as the Earth's journey into light in order to fulfill many purposes. So yeah, there's a lot more information. It's a few pages, so I'm not going to read all through it. But anyways, it's a huge body of intelligent waves that comes through. So that is how the direction of my I am faculty cards are working with your particular flow, and so you can direct any which way that you would like or that best suits your embodiment when moving into the higher light degrees. So I have the links all in the description box. If interested in anything or taking this bigger online course into the eternal self, and even, you know, expanding on it, commanding a return investment actually, in which you can teach people to move their light body that moves with all 12 universes, going back to all 12 teams of light. So you learn about it, you learn which kind of light configurations, for example, red, gold, and transparency, can eventually heal ailments in the lungs, in the thyroid, or whatever is your specialty. So, and we work with all these 12 streams that have grounded on the planet, and you will have like 50 meditational alignments to heal everything in your anatomy. So that is already great to do, and so there is an easy transition into these celestial bodies actually for those also willing to teach kids with it. Kids are really easygoing when it comes to sacred mathematics, sacred geometry, because they have their imagination that runs a lot quicker than in a matured embodiment, right? And so they can link up quite easily with new information, which is so interesting when teaching kids through a meditational class, which there is some arts involved or fitness, and you know, merging everything a bit together is what they actually need to evolve and to expand upon their joy and lifestyle. So that's what I have for you. It's opening up into the new economics, new schooling systems on the earth. Well, all the other economics are crumbling anyway. So if you have any questions, shoot, I'll be there to answer them then, and let's see where we come out next week. So have a great week. Thank you.